Hello, everyone. Welcome to our happy hour. Sorry for the little delay. Technical challenges for me always. The old guy in the room, still trying to figure out how this crazy technology works. Welcome to our happy hour. We're super excited to have everyone on board to see both some upcoming events, the Weaver courts, some balance updates, and rework of the Dweghom. So there's a lot to go over. So without further ado, we want to just highlight for American customers that the tariffs, I know, have created angst and challenges for all of us that do anything with imports. We want to make sure that everyone is really aware that what we have done with the changes we made the end of August is that all U.S. bound orders are shipped with all of the tariffs prepaid. That means truly there are no other charges due upon delivery. That's true for our retailers. That's true for our consumers. There is a brokerage fee that we are working with UPS on trying to come up with solutions to. For now, at least, there's a $15 charge, which is the brokerage fee to pay the tariffs on top of the tariffs. Yeah, super frustrating. But that is, you will not have to come up with any money on delivery. And I think that's super important that everyone realize that is making us pretty unique in that regard. So I just want to make sure that everyone's aware of that policy, and that's what we're doing. The other thing you're going to see coming up October 1st is a use license. So one of the things that we're working to do is to change the way on commercial invoices our miniatures are priced. And we're going to split that up October 1st between the miniature model and an extended use license. And so what does that mean? First of all, the prices as you know them today are not changing. You're not going to see any change on your invoice through the eShop. We will have codes as a use license for all models moving forward. Now, if you already own models, you're already in the app, you're already a user, fear not. Nothing's going to change. Not a thing is going to change. So I want to be really clear about that. Prices are the way they are, but each miniature set, every individual unit will have its own use license with a code that you will get in the box and that we will have available as well for sending out to retailers who have stock or anything you may not have opened yet. We'll make sure that everyone has access to things, but it will allow us to value the miniatures at 20% of the total and the extended use license, which gives you app access, updates to the rules, the license for the IP, showing the models anywhere you wish to at an 80% value. So we want to highlight this so that you know October 1st, when you see a small change in the commercial invoice with each item having a breakout, that's what's happening.
Yeah. So effectively, as Daryl has reiterated, nothing changes for any existing people. The prices remain exactly the same. All that happens is that the invoice will look different. People that already have accounts, those accounts are going to be completely activated, so you don't need to worry. You will have access to all of our rules and everything. What's basically happening is that what we were always doing before, which was that the value of the rules is incorporated into the miniatures and just sold, because we don't sell the rules separately. We are now committing to doing that long term, and B, incorporating them into the price of the miniatures. This will allow us to try to keep prices from rising as well.
Great question from Twitter, or Twitch, I should say, about the Canadian customers. Currently, you do share the same website. We are working on a Canadian dollar price point across the board. Everybody, this is not just an American change, to be very clear. This will go across all of our customers, this breakout. The Canadians, the Americans, the Europeans, the Asians, all will have the same scenario in terms of the use license and total for the miniature. So that doesn't change. And in terms of Canadians having their own price point, that is something we are working on. We have a new eShop coming also, ideally around October 1st. So you're going to see that change where if the Canadian and Australian dollar eShops are both in the works, they'll probably follow the current ones. And the goal, I should say the goal, We will have one eShop. There will not be two anymore, and it'll be currency based. So the goal will be to have one place for you to go, and then you can pay in your currency as you wish. Tariffing is based off of the value on the commercial invoice. Yes. And the commercial invoice will only show the physical model, because the digital extended user license will not be included.
You'll still get your invoice digitally. Again, the only change you will see is effectively that the invoice has changed, and new players will have to input a code once to activate their account to have access to our rules.
Yep. And this is, by the way, across all countries. This is not an American exclusive change. So yes, if you're in the UK, it will be the same thing, and the value of the commercial invoice will be only on the miniature, not the digital license. That will be true for every country, no matter where it is being exported to. Let me see that. I'm getting a lot of questions, so I'm trying to read them as I go. The stock, when we go to one eShop, the stock is already consolidated between the two as it is, so there really won't be a change there. And you will have one eShop. It'll just be currency based, not as occasionally has happened where a SKU didn't post on one or the other. That won't happen here. Are there any future U.S.-centric issues be limited to the U.S. customer base? So first of all, let's be very clear. When we changed our American pricing, that was about the currency exchange. We agreed to absorb the tariff, but the currency also has taken a bit of a nosedive against the euro. So the pricing that we adjusted was based on currency-related issues. And so you should see that was our plan. We did readjust prices. Some of the prices, as you hopefully saw, went down as well as we re-looked at the line, and in some cases molds have been paid off, and it gave us a little more flexibility to make some adjustments to the products within the line and reset the model and user license pricing together. Does that mean that base rules are no longer available for people who have yet to buy minis? We will give everyone a 7-day ability to view and use the rules and the app without having bought a miniature. So that will be an opportunity for people to test drive. And then certainly, they really don't have a lot of use for the rules if they're not buying any miniatures. The minute they buy one miniature, they will have use for the rules. But each miniature does, through its own IP license, have a need to be having its own user license. So every individual miniature has its own user license. And the goal is for this to help everyone, not just us. Why is this necessary? Well, because it gives people the opportunity it gives us the opportunity to value the models and the user license based on the costs that also go into the reality of selling our product. Updating and keeping rules updated and the app updated is also an ongoing and relatively expensive scenario, to say the least. Do you only get rules for the minis that you have bought? No, you get all the rules. Great question. You get all the rules, all the app.
And the other very important thing is, if you have not bought any of the new miniatures that will have this code, you can still sign up. When you create your account, you will have free access for a period of time in order to have access to all of these rules. It will eventually lock you out, but the purchase of any miniature will basically give you indefinite access.
Yeah. Yes, it is a departure from how things have been done before, but isn't life right now a bit of a departure from how things have been done before? And shouldn't we be creative, those of us who are in the creative space, at finding ways to continue that creativity across the platforms for our beloved, and I mean that sincerely, customers? Our goal was to keep the gaming community as insulated from these decisions as possible, and to create a platform, no matter where you live, that can succeed at providing gamers the best value possible. That's why we are doing it. So let's be clear. I know that it's change, but again, nothing is really going to change in the way you work with us, with the exception of getting an access code. And again, if you already own product, you already have a direct account, and for whatever reason, if you get locked out of the app for some reason, don't worry. Just write to Demetra. She'll get you an access code. We'll take care of you. We know you've already made purchases. If you bought from your local retailer, we'll take care of you. The goal for this is to make sure that we have a sustainable program for our customers moving forward. So let me see. How do I get rules if I already bought minis and don't plan on buying any more?
That's something I want to clarify.
Yep.
All existing accounts will be permanently unlocked. Anybody that has brought product to date has their account permanently unlocked. If you have already bought a miniature to date, if you have registered your account to date.
And if you haven't registered your account and you own
changes for
miniatures,
you.
do it now, please. So yes, if you own miniatures and you have not built an account on our app, this is a really good time to download the app, gang. That's part of the reason we're telling you this now, right? We're not looking to make this difficult for anyone. Let's make it super clear. We want you to play and engage. We want to set up our business model to be successful so that we can offer you the most value possible for your valuable dollar, or your valuable pound, or your valuable euro, or your valuable Australian dollar, wherever it may be, because it's fair to say that none of us really know where these, shall we say, borders are going to end. And we're going to try to support the community of our gameplay, because at the end of the day, what makes Conquest and what makes games in general so special is that all of this real world stuff that we're now talking about, you can retreat from for a little while. And we want to make sure you have that opportunity to retreat with the most value as possible. So I appreciate all the questions. The cutoff date is October 1st. So again, you have 2 more weeks at a minimum, roughly 2 weeks exactly. So just register an account on the app. I can't imagine that anybody watching this hasn't already done so, to be honest. But if you haven't, you got 2 weeks. Download the app. It's free. And by the way, it's still going to be free when you buy something. So nothing, again, is really changing.
Yeah, guys, there is a lot of doom and gloom. This is not an effort to nickel and dime you. This is not an effort to get more money.
Quite the opposite, actually.
It is the opposite. We're trying to make things cheaper for you. We're trying to prevent price increases. So literally, if you have an army, nothing changes. If you have bought if you have created an account, you don't even have to have bought something. If you have created an account, nothing changes. The only thing that changes from now on is that if you are new and you do not have a pre-existing account as of October 1st, after 1 month of creating an account, you will need to input a code that you have in that you will get in any miniature that you purchase with us to be able to access the army builder and updated rules. That's it. I mean, we're making you type 8 letters more.
Yep. And we're going to make sure
12 and numbers, 12 letters and number.
And we're going to make sure that retailers who have existing stock get codes. And if they should happen to give you a code, I can't control what everybody does once we put it out in the universe. So I want to be super clear that we are working hard for the community with this. Truly, except for the fact that it is a bit of a change, I want to make sure that, and I wanted to explain it in voice so that people suddenly got an invoice and went, wait, why does this look different? Would know. But the reality is we're working hard to readjust the way we value your experience with us to account for both the plastic as well as the digital license that we provide to every customer in perpetuity. Because the reality is the continuous update of the app, the continuous update of the license, the lore, the IP, and the rules is a significant value that we provide. And we wanted to make sure that that value was registered by all parties. But again, if you already own something, fear not. Nothing's changing. So I know there have been quite a few panics, if you will. If you own it, you still have access to everything. So let me say this. You're about to see Weaver Courts. You may never want to buy Weaver Courts. You will still be able to see the Weaver Court rules and use the Weaver Courts in the Army Builder, even if you don't own Weaver Courts. The only thing you won't be able to do with Weaver Courts, if you don't own one, is to show it on your social media when you painted it, because you don't own one. That's why each license is separate to the model. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I wanted to make sure that everyone understood it. So when it came out, and if you're on this call and you have 3 friends in a group and you have any of these kind of conversations, you can say, look, I was part of this call. I know what they're doing. And with that, we want to go on to something really fun that just finished, and that is our Chios Championship. And Stamo is going to give us a little overview of the day of the week's shenanigans out in the Greek island of Chios.
Hey everyone, Stamos here. So this year's Chios has concluded. It was the biggest date. In total, there were 42 people involved, including the +1s of the participants, the AGM participants, and our team members. I want to thank everyone who joined us. It was great seeing familiar faces and meeting new people. It was a pleasure having all of you. We're very excited for next year as well. 10 out of the 16 players were new players. So 60% of the participants were new participants. We were very happy about that. Season 5 is going very well. We are at 66 registered world events. We will be presenting some of them in the next slides. This month is going to be very busy, and the beginning of next month as well. We have some very big events both in the US and the EU. And we are very happy to see the program doing so well. Maciej from Poland won again this year. Congratulations, Maciej. Here you can see him holding the Apex Conqueror, which he asked about last year. He was very happy to see it in person.
Excellent. Thank you, Stamo. And I want to give a huge shout out to Stamo, who, of course, all of the team that was there did a tremendous amount of work, but Stamo was the ringleader of creating all of the events and getting people here and there and everywhere, and hotels, and from, I was not there in person, but from what I understand, the food was almost relentless, relentless food, which sounds pretty amazing to me. So it sounds like everyone had a really good time, which we're thrilled about, and we thank everyone. And as Stamo alluded, 66 events already on the calendar for season 5, and I'm going to show you a few more coming up right here. So the next one, we have a bunch like right in a row. I think we're all a little spinning from the amount of things going on. So in Spain, we have Freak Wars, and the team, the Spanish community, is doing an amazing job of pulling together what will be a fantastic event. Christoph will be there as well. So please come out if you're in anywhere in Spain or Portugal or Italy and can get over there pretty easily. It will be really fun as a great world event, and I know Christoph is bringing his A game with displays. We have two, maybe more, at least 2 Vanguards helping us at Hammer Time the same weekend in France. So, and there will be an incredible Spires table for demos. So same weekend, Hammer Time in France, a lot going on. And also the same weekend in London, the grand tournament, the LGT will be going on with a world event as well, and a friendly against our own Yanni, who will be there representing the publisher. So we have 3 events in Europe next week, or 2 weeks essentially. Oh, yeah, next week really. So it's coming fast. And then the week after that, Yanni and Joey will be at Power 9's LVO. We put that in parentheses, world event for Power 9 Games in Las Vegas. Yanni is going to do the world tour, and he's also going to be doing a friendly there and see if anybody who will beat him up against this year. Joey's going to be bringing new Conquest players in the community, and their food trucks were fantastic. I know a lot of people really love those. So look forward to that at Power 9 Games. There are a few spaces available for the 16 players, so sign up today if you're going, because you're going to run out of room. if you don't. Michigan GT, Hunter will be there same weekend. So it's an annual tradition. Meet up with Hunter, say hello. Elric's will be selling product there, and I know there's quite a great world event coming out there. And then the same weekend, Amulet D20 is going on in Slovenia. So we have some surprises planned for that event. I did put the dates wrong. It's 4th through the 5th. Sorry about that. I just caught my own typo. Some really good special surprises. And they have, I think, almost 60 people signed up from around Europe at that event that, I just got to say, the community there is crushing it. My thanks to Overbright and Park Enigma and all of the group that is putting that together. You guys killing it, just killing.
As requested, I'm actually going to be joining the Amulet D20.
Oh, I didn't. I see. I said surprises, so I wasn't sure, and I'm glad you. I was hoping you were going to jump in. Good. That's going to be awesome. Everyone's going to have a great time at all of these events. That's 6 events in 2 weeks. It's going to be fantastic. So in all seriousness, if you're near any one of these and can go, I promise you're going to have a good time. And then 2 weeks after that is Spiel, the world's largest gaming fair. And we will have a special Oktoberfish fish gnome as a con exclusive at Essen Spiel. The debut of the Weaver Courts will happen there as well. And Christoph has promised an amazing new display. I don't know what it is, but I have no doubt it's going to be incredible. We're going to have 3D printing capabilities for terrain there. So people who want to pick up terrain and get it 3D printed on hand, that's going to be a new feature in the booth. We're going to bring back the spinny wheel at Spiel. Why not? And if you want to know where we are, well, we're in the same place we always are. Right in Hall 1, right as you walk in the door to the left. You can't miss us. And we'll have the bat signal flashing up against the wall. And if you've never been to Spiel, we have a light logo that goes up against the wall so that people can see us from anywhere. It'll be a fun event. It's one of my favorite shows of the year. And yes, we will be making the Oktoberfish available online and at retailers during Spiel as well as we have in the past. And then looking ahead, coming really soon after Spiel will be Octagon in Lyon. Salon, I'm not going to pronounce that correctly. Salon du Modélissime. Oh, I don't know. Christoph is going to shoot me for that one. And Chambéry is the next weekend. So we have 2 consecutive events in France. And then Spell and Spectacle in the Netherlands, also November 8th and 9th. And I implore people who are running gaming conventions, as you plan 2026, try not to do them all in the same weeks. That will be super nice. And then as we get into 2026, we will be kicking it off with CanCon in Canberra, another world event that I know Reese has, I'm sure, already started to get people excited about. And then the ITC is coming back in France as well. The French market is, as you can tell, super fired up for things. A lot of events going on there in February. And then we were just putting together the Adepticon slate of events that we're planning. I can't even believe that I'm having that discussion while it's still so beautiful out here in New England. But yeah, Adepticon events are well underway. So lots of places to see us coming up. And I know I've only scratched the surface. Go to the event calendar, find a local event. It's really full. And yes, I know we are working on integrating that into the app. It's still being worked on, don't worry. But as you heard in the beginning of this call, we've had a few other things that had to be addressed, but we are working on it. And there's a lot going on. And there will be a Stavros lore talk again at Adepticon, yes.
Ah, yes.
Yes, indeed. Thanks to answer someone's question. Fish gnome beer. That is a good idea. Now that, Brad, is a very good idea. I like that one. So shipping now, the Wadruhn founder exclusive. I'm wearing my Apex Conqueror shirt, as you can probably see. It wasn't really that, but it was actually, as it worked out, because it looks very, very similar. When I put the shirt on this morning, I'm like, wow, perfect. It plays like an Apex Predator with attitude. And I mean, let's be honest, the Apex Predator has some attitude. So we are moving through these quite quickly. It's a 1,337 piece edition. And I'm sure very few have seen it actually in person yet, but I know Mateus would attest to the fact that it is a big boy. It is quite a bit taller than the apex predator. There he is against a blooded, just to give you some perspective. I know you usually like to see a picture with a banana, but we felt like the minis worked better to give you the true perspective. And here's some close-up shots. I do want to also mention that production of these, this is a chunky beast of resin. I mean, this is a lot of resin. And they are hand-poured and slow. So do expect and do know that we appreciate your patience as you wait for new orders. We've already sold and will be shipping in September all that we can. So anything now ordered will be in October shipment, either with probably the Weaver Courts to your retailers, or direct to consumer will be as soon as we can get them out. The website does show mid-October at the moment. We'll keep that updated as we have information, but we cannot make them all at one time. So you know that is the deal. Answer a couple of questions. Stavro lore talk in Spanish. That would be cool. Stavro, I think that's a good idea. And then Leo have a lore talk at a UK event.
No Leo lore talks. No.
I think his passport has been revoked based on that comment alone. But that's a perfect segue to my friend Leo and the Jays and Yanni, who are going to walk us through some balance updates and a Dweghom rework. So, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Oh, you caught us trying to book tickets to as many events as possible. But okay. I guess we can talk about rules. First of all, I just want to say another thank you for this season. I mean, we just came back from Chios. It was just an amazing experience, and this season was great. It was a lot of great feedback that we've gotten throughout this season. The culmination, of all of these amazing lists, armies, and update came together for an incredible finals at Chios, and there was just a ton of things that we took from that. I want to thank everybody. So, talking about balance updates, well, you're in luck. First of all, we had a little rule. We said however many victories the Dweghom player would score, it would be 25% less chance of the Dweghom rework happening. Right? We rolled the dice, and it is going through. So, let's talk a little bit about what we saw in season 4 and where the game is headed at season 5. Joel, Jacob, what are the things, let's say, that you saw in this season, and how are we moving into the next?
Well, we saw Chios. There's a lot of love for Euronian Sorcerer Kings, and the purpose of this update is to share the love amongst all armies. So we looked at every army and are looking to bring up things that are overlooked. And a big feature that we're moving forward with is the reduction of Tenacious X rules to be brought mostly down to Tenacious 1. That's to allow for can openers, the hard-hitting regiments such as Varangian or Steelheart Jin, those types of regiments to really shine, so that volume of attacks still has its place, but it's not the only solution to the meta.
That's actually works. I mean, because when you see things like Kyrikids, or when you see things like Windborn Jin, right, where these sort of high quality, low volume shooters, let's say, they didn't exist. Let's say we're trying to create a healthier, let's say, game and landscape for the game that they can grow. See all the little Weaver puns I'm throwing in there for later. That they can grow, they can blossom into a viable competitive choices for you all. What are Jacob, some of the things you saw you want to share?
Too much Yoroni beef.
No,
too much beef, I heard, period.
Too much. I think the beef.
Yeah.
It was too much in general.
A little bit too much Yoroni layering defensive strategies on a big brick. So we are going to focus on breaking that layering up. Again, the goal is to go lightly, just to prevent this overbearing, sort of unbreakable large brick of Yoroni. And that is a similar approach to what we're going to do with the, I guess we'd call it the Firestorm Flamecasters, who also suffered, or benefited, actually, I should say, everybody else suffered from a little bit too much rules layering that pushed their effectiveness to truly exorbitant levels. So what we've done is basically break up the layering, impacting the units as little as humanly possible. But yeah, Flamecasters are no longer going to be the sort of unstoppable cornerstone of the Sorcerer King's army. You guys are actually going to have to look at the rest of the toys.
I want to add on top of that overall, the purpose of these changes were not to nerf things. We want to make sure that people can still play with the armies and collections that they have and the lists they're familiar with. It's just to kind of bring it into line and to have the underloved stuff performing at a better rate.
Yeah, definitely making sure that any changes are as, let's say, as targeted as possible, and they're there just to bring things towards the benchmark that we consider good old honest conquest, right? That for us is think of the design direction of the 100 Kingdoms as that benchmark for us, and trying to make sure that this is essentially the balanced landscape that we want to create. But we do have one more interesting thing, Jacob. What do you think about state of scoring in general? Like, what do you feel? What do you see?
Following the rest of the trajectory that the game's been following through updates, is we are finally putting an end to light scoring basically across the game. So I know that's something we're pleased to announce is now, instead of some people having light scoring, some not, now it's more across the game. Everyone's on the same playing field in that regard. So.
And of course, you're going to find all of these updates in detail right after. Actually, we're doing something. You saw last update during May that we had this patch notes, right, with every single change and designer notes on everything. And this is the reason why we're not really going to discuss everything exhaustively. But you will be able to find every single change that will be happening to the game with designer notes instead of having to fish for the red highlighted text. So no more highlighted text, one document separated in parts, define core rules, define your faction, whatever, and underneath every change or group of changes, if they're related, you will be able to find exact notes. Now, to say something on light scoring, this update this update is a big step towards certain commitments we've made a while back, right? And we want to every time we want to be able to make steps towards always having a better game. So light scoring is not there essentially. The only place you will be able to find light scoring right now is for the Nords, the Blood of the Einherjar, and we felt that for now we didn't want to take it away without giving enough things back. So this is the sort of approach you can expect from us, making sure that we take things very carefully, very selectively, very targeted. And I think one of the biggest, let's say, moves towards that new design, direction, and decision is also how the Dweghs are designed and how the Dwegh rework has happened. I see Garrett was already teasing a little bit with the what does my army do and the rules in a nutshell. Again, don't worry, don't have to go through everything extensively. The PDF is going to be right at the end of the happy hour. We will have all of the rules there for you. I'm just gonna let you Jacob go take it. What are the things that you like about it? Like, what are the things that you feel with the Dweghs?
Dweghom is my first army, and I will say there's a certain connoisseur of wargamers that like their armies stubby, bearded, and angry, and we feel that this book is a much anticipated love letter to all Dweghom players out there. That the army's been brought into the kind of modern level of interactivity and list building to put it up with, 100 Kingdoms as the benchmark, as we talked about before. So you'll see.
But addressing the issue that angered everybody about the no cross connectivity in the 100 Kingdoms.
Yeah, I would.
All sub factions can play with all sub factions. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Dweghom are divided but not split. You can still play the creed to act as a way of it's the lens that your army views warfare. So how whatever creed you pick is how the army functions. It's the flavor of Dweghom you want to play.
Actually, to synopsize this conversation, I think there is a question in the chat that the answer to which really, it says, okay, not to be a downer, but when flank was supposed to be reduced across the game, city-states lost all of it while some factions were untouched. This is something that we're very cognizant about. And this is, for example, one of the reasons why light scoring isn't going away from the blood of the Einherjar. This is the only place you'll be able to find it. The reason which is that this is integral to the nature of the faction, and we don't want to take away without giving back. And these sort of, let's say, decisions go exactly towards making sure that, you know, certain factions are not taking away things without things getting back. Definitely for me, Dwegs, it's that beautiful return to that honest conquest feeling, and you'll see it. We're talking high defense values, but we're not having hardened or tenacious or evasion, let's say. And so it is there, honestly, setting up this armor and shield and telling you, I have high defenses, I am here to fight you. You have to bring the right tools to fight me. And that's, I think, the spirit of Conquest. That's the benchmark spirit of honest, good old Conquest rank and file that I love. And I have been so excited about to go back and feel that with it, right? Guys, what are some of the takeaways, some of the things that you like, some of the play styles that you
feed the community a little bit of meat on the Dweghom. I think they're asking for some meat.
Okay.
About Awakening?
I think some meat, yeah, should be.
So, remember how at the beginning the whole point was that the Dweghom awakened to war, right? They awakened to the drums of war. That is actually now a mechanic in the army. As your units awaken, they get every subfaction gains a core advantage, which is they cannot be broken. And then each subfaction, in addition, gains one additional ability, again, through their own prism. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I do that. I get excited.
So I think that the best way for me to think about it, to think, and I think that, what does my army do kind of like synopsizes well. Essentially, think of like, so think of that Arden awakens the gift through charging and destroying enemy regiments, right? You feed of the fury of battle, right? You just unleash violence. And then you have the temper that amass this elemental power, and the forge just gather this energy and expend it to trigger magical abilities. You were there to control really, that's the essence of temper. And of course, you can use your forged regiments through, regardless of creed, but it is the temper that really elevates. And ultimately, clan is that, they awaken through combat, through discipline, through a direct call to action. It's their leaders are there to play a role in literally commanding their forces into awakening, just representing that unyielding unity and resilience that is the clans. So you start off by building, from the very beginning of building this Dweghom army, you are part of telling that story. You start by selecting this creed. It's essentially where you position yourself in that inherent, let's say, debate or between ardent, tempered, or clan. And then once you do that, then you move on to who you want your warlord to be. Your warlord essentially is the combination of your warlord and the creed is really the culmination of that ideology and that let's say philosophy behind it. With, of course, a very nice twist for the ancestor that bridges the tempered and ardent.
So, can we go over the specifics of Ardent, Tempered, and Clan just quickly so that people get a gist of what they do, and then we can move on to perhaps one or two units, and then on to the Weavers?
Absolutely. I think it will be great to go through, let's say, first of all, we can talk a little bit about Forged. Talking about Forged, essentially thinking anything that has Forged in its name. Think of Steel Forged, think of Magma Forged, think of Fire Forged. Essentially, every time a Forged regiment activates, you have a draw event at your disposal. You may spend markers from an elemental power pool that you have to empower, essentially, your regiments, give them extra abilities. Or
the idea here thematically is when the Dweghom go to war, literally the earth itself shudders. When you fight them, the world, the sky itself is aflame. And they can draw on this like cataclysmic spell power that they unleash. They can draw it into their forged units to basically empower and awaken them. Shooting harder, punching harder, moving faster. So like the rest of this update, it's all about trying to pass on that cataclysmic sort of firstborn of war, awakening to battle.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can go into the creeds themselves. So we have we start with think of the Ardent Creed. Essentially, you have, every time you perform a charge or you cause an enemy regiment to be destroyed, it immediately becomes awakened. Ardent regiments, they have essentially their own sort of abilities that they get when they get awakened. You can find it in the Ardent list entry, and essentially they have their own way in which they approach combat. Usually, it's becoming more and more aggressive. Then in addition, you also have friendly Ardent Clan command stands. They always get fighting, essentially. It is part of the things that you have been requesting quite a bit, along with a few things along with Pathfinders setting up your reinforcement line that cannot be pushed. We have really liked this ability. You have been requesting it a lot, and we wanted to see it return. And finally, we have the Tempered and Clan. The Clan is, think of it, when they're awakened, they become simply oblivious and they have this iron discipline, literally, to quoting the rules. They're there to stay, they're there to fight to the very end. No Dweghom can ever shatter, and old Dweghom, when awakened, cannot be broken. So they're there to fight until the very end. And finally, the Tempered themselves, the Tempered Creed plays further into that, plays further into that elemental power pool theme, where every time you cast and successfully cast a spell, you generate, your tokens, and you can consume tokens to add to your wizard level. So then, as you might imagine, then that becomes even more intriguing with all the different choices that you have for warlords and how you can further build that playstyle for yourself.
Is that all we've got for the moment? We're going to encourage everyone to go and after the happy hour, we have all of this documentation ready to be shared with you. I know there's quite a few people waiting to see pictures as well. Every faction has balance updates and changes, so everybody has things to look at. And the app will be updated on Monday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Leo.
Yes. So we're working Monday. We want to have the app updated, and we're also going to see the First Blood PDFs going live as well.
But the rules are going to be updated later tonight. The PDFs.
Yeah, all of the TLAK rules at the end of this happy hour. Right after the happy hour, we're going to see them.
Plus, we'll see the new model of Army PDF in the Dweghom. You are going to see art. You're going to see lore on every single item, on every single character, on every single unit, on every single supremacy. things that, again, let you focus on the lore of your army. And we're going to be going basically faction by faction and doing this for everybody, making the armies come more alive, giving you more background, more information, more theme, and more mood overall to every faction. So the PDFs will be live today. The app will be live on Monday.
And that's one of the reasons we're not showing you all this now. We don't want you focusing on trying to read all the words. The goal is to kind of listen to why we're doing things, and you'll enjoy more digging into the new PDFs. It'll all be fresh, it'll all be new, and it'll be exciting. So I think it'll be really good for everyone when I shut up and we get off after we get off of this happy hour to go and just enjoy them. I'm comfortable everyone will. Leah, one of the things I know people ask for regularly is printer-friendly versions. I imagine we will continue to have printer-friendly versions as well.
Yes, we're gonna give us a little bit of time too, because you're gonna be excited to see that we have a completely new way of approaching, army list, essentially designed a lot prettier, really beautiful, and we are currently working on turning that into a nice looking printer-friendly version. Overall, there is, the graphics are much more streamlined, so we have taken that into account. And yes, there will be a printer-friendly version. The other question is, yes, we will share the PDF on Discord, so we can overload Discord server, and then right after we're going to move on to our website. You're going to see them immediately. You're going to see them on the Discord, just so we know that everybody, good ardent berserkers, go and fight and charge at the servers of a different company, not ours. And then once we overload that, we can at your leisure visit our website and also register for an account. It's super important too.
And we'll put them on social media as well, so we can go after Meta's servers. They have plenty of space.
Everybody's but ours.
Other people's servers, just crash everybody's servers.
Crash the servers. Crash them all.
I just want to say here, it's funny that we record. I wanted to say, by the way, that the moment Daryl was talking about registering for an account, our developer was already messaging like, is something happening on the website?
I cannot believe that many of you had not already registered for an account. What's wrong with you? But anyways, now you have.
What has happened is we're not talking about the Weavers.
Yes. So now we are talking about the Weavers, and to reiterate what Leo said, First Blood updates are also coming. They will be Monday with the app, so don't look for those on the PDFs on Discord. Today, TLA-OK. Next week, PDFs for First Blood, and all of those updates in the app. So, fun stuff.
TLA-OK is today.
Weavers, I meant First Blood is next week. Weaver Court's today, yes, 100%.
All of that goodness will be in your fingertips, so you can go out and be happy and make lists and read lore and just. Because yes, part of the new design of all the army list is a lot of lore.
And please remember, yes, Weaver Courts will be in First Blood. So just because it's not being published today, First Blood players, they're going to get the enhanced version as well. So it's exciting. We are still a small team, so there are capacity limits as humans as well.
So I think we should talk a little bit about Weavers. People have been waiting for a lot.
Yes, as Ben pointed out, 5 years. I'm not sure it's been that long, but it feels like it. I have no doubt it feels like 5 years. So we do have Weaver Courts coming. Everything you see listed there, plus a couple more coming in 2025. Yeah, this year still. So excited. Barring any unexpected challenges, shall we say?
Why you say that? Why you want challenges? You get challenges.
I like to cover myself so that I don't have pitchforks out in my front yard.
Fractal ears appear.
Yes. But anyway, this is the plan. All of these for 2025, so that when you are going to early 2026 events, you have a truly ready to go army.
Yeah.
So here are your current skirmishers.
So the core thing to understand about the Weavers is the highly ritualized form in which they approach combat. So for millennia, they were isolated between themselves, and they developed this ritualized form of war, right, that they did between themselves. Think a little bit like the flower wars of the Aztecs, right, except less bloody, less violent. The whole point was to avoid blood. It was something between theater and war itself. And the idea here was effectively to count coup on your opponent, basically to show that he had been defeated without actually, cutting him apart and killing him. This was in the aftermath of the schism and the Fomori Civil War. So as a result, what started out as a sort of like, okay, let's not kill each other when we're solving disputes, slowly evolved into a very ritualized form of combat, which rather than ditch once this as the isolationism is breaking and they're actually coming into contact with everybody else, what they've done is merely unleash it. They have sort of harnessed it, and they've unleashed like its cadence and its sort of ritual steps on everybody else. And at the heart of it, counting the way they count coup is effectively used to be by basically tagging you with these seeds, these like life-binding, super sensitive seeds that would bloom right into a puff of spores or a bright flower, to show that you had been hurt. In combat, they use far deadlier seeds and far deadlier blooms. So the idea is the Weavers load you up with these seeds, and then when they bloom, you are affected by negative effects or effects that enhance the ability of your own troops to attack. Your spells key off of this. Many of your units key off of this. So at the heart of the Weaver mechanic is essentially spreading these seeds to the key units you want to target. Sometimes you spread them to units you don't want to target, so that you can use those seeds. And anyway, it gets interesting. You'll see it as you read the army rules. But at the heart, it's effectively activating these seeds as you play and taking advantage of them. And there is a very ritualized sequence of spring into summer, summer into autumn, autumn into winter, winter into spring. Again, that was at the heart of their ritual combat, to give a chance for everybody in the court to sort of be able to show off their prowess. And they've kept that intense ritualism when they go to war. And as a result, that's the sequence that you activate your seeds in.
I'm thinking of a good way to think about seeds from a gameplay let's say perspective is essentially that the army is, let's say, divided into two broad, let's say, game conceptual roles. Is those who apply the seeds and those who benefit from them, essentially. So, like we were seeing regiments like Karen Skirmishers, Siathan Riders. If you're hearing mispronouncing something, by the way, there is a full pronunciation guide on the actual PDF. Just so you know, we are going above and beyond for you to be able to correctly pronounce. I think all the meanings should be next with that. And essentially,
Current Skirmishers may be the easiest one, by the way.
Current Skirmishers is indeed.
I've been practicing all day.
But yeah, these regiments are great for putting siege in enemy regiments, where others like Siathan Riders, I need to study a little bit of pronunciation of myself, and plenty others.
I've already given up on the pronunciation. I completely make it up. They're fantasy Irish in my.
They are just best for interacting with them. Now, the mechanic, super simple. You put seeds up to 2, and enemy regiment can only have up to 2. At the beginning of the round, if it has 2 seeds, you remove them and they bloom. That's it. The bloom effect is whatever season the current round the current round is, essentially. You don't have to bookkeep a lot. It's very simple. You only interact with the seeds when they're consumed or where they're directly interacted by an ability. But in either case, you remove the effect, you apply or remove the seeds, and you don't track anything again until they become relevant in a future interaction. So that's one part. The other part is, and actually that's something that a lot of you have been asking since we gave that preview, is we're talking about the seasons. So the seasons are there to allow you to express your army's full potential, but do not worry. All regiments are designed to provide a complete experience, regardless of what season is currently in the ground. Seasons, let's say, is more of a way to add this extra layer of flavor, right? To bring out every regiment's unique nature. It's a beautiful theme. You can choose to engage it, but you don't have to worry of missing out if you are learning the game and you prefer not to. Is this for me? The combination of these two, let's say, applying and sowing and reaping are just these themes that are repeated quite a bit throughout the Weaver army list, and it has allowed every regiment to kind of find its place in this delicate balance.
One of the questions, Leo, that's coming up is that they feel that it might be a lot of bookkeeping. You want to help them figure that. Do they need seed tokens and season trackers for this army?
So seeds are actually quite simple to track. You can either just put a die or two, whatever sort of thing you want to put right next to it. It's not, seeds or effects are not court specific, so you don't need 4 of everything. Just any generic marker essentially is good. You can only have up to 2 seeds on any regiment, and when it's time for the seeds to bloom, you simply remove the seeds entirely and the effect takes place. So in that regard, you don't have to worry about seasonal things. Effects and the seeds themselves are generic, so there is no
we will be including seed markers, cutout seed markers in the box.
But I definitely support using acorns as seed
I do
markers.
too. I was just going to comment on that. I love that idea.
Or just almonds or whatever.
Do you guys have acorns in Greece? I was going to say we could probably go harvest them.
Do. Although, like, how do you call these sunflower like seeds that you chew? I'm thinking of somebody just coming with a bag of those as seeds, and I hate the fact that I gave somebody an idea to do it.
I love that idea too, and they're tasty as well. So if you get hungry while you're playing, pistachios also make a lovely snack. But anyways, we could go on and on and on. Let's go to see a little bit more, shall we? The Sanchez Shi.
Yes, powerful spellcaster. So think of it, a powerful spellcaster that chooses either the high court to follow either the high court of summer or the high court of winter, and each one of these two courts come with their own way to own little interesting toolkit. The Siansa Seed is great in the sense that it can consume seeds from enemy regiments to empower its own spellcasting. A very interesting mechanic, and gives helps you think a little bit, how you want to approach your combat. Just an absolutely amazing model, an absolutely beautiful model, and a very interesting, character to play with in combat.
So one of the things you will notice, if you read the lore carefully about the exiles and their unique biology, is these models look large because that base it's on is not actually an infantry base. It's actually a brute base. And this is because life binding basically interrupts the cell cycle. The older Weaver is, and the more it has life bound, and specifically what it has life bound to, in the case of Spell Weaver, the Sanchez Shi, they actually bind to elementals, which is what makes them spellcasters. Much like the Sorcerer Kings, but in a very different manner. Theirs is more of a religious approach to it. They continue growing. So the older and more powerful Fae are actually significantly physically larger than their, let's call them, closer to mortal cousins. So this is one of the key models you will see it in, but you will see it throughout the faction, and it creates interesting visual variety. They are not brutes; they are actually infantry and brute bases. So keep that in mind. The rules.
I'll note as well that the Oberon that is currently out is the alternate sculpt for this model.
Correct. And this model will come in 2 flavors. This is the winter flavor, and she will also be available in the summer flavor as a dual kit.
Oh, that's new. Here we have the Rune She.
Just a beautiful model. It's a dual kit with a Morsi. One is, let's say, the more the spring, and the other is more the autumn. The spring essentially is, let's say, as the season itself would suggest, it's a period of growth. It's a period of pollination. It's a period of growing and spreading, and it's a great character for you to start laying down those seeds. Where the more seed is the aggressive, close combatant. It is it's the fighter, the not the brawler, a little more elegant. What a better word would be? It's the graceful but very deadly fighter.
And here are the Kron Guardians.
So one of the mysteries of the Weavers, or one of the things that is a mystery even to the Weavers themselves, is that the forest itself seems to be awakening, separate from them, in a friendly manner, in a very friendly manner to them. And the Kran Guardians and the Will-O-Wisps are the prime examples of this, where you effectively have like wood, loam, trees, branches coming alive to protect the Fairan, the realm, right? That obnoxiously complex word that they use to describe a forest / the world / their kingdom, because they do things like these just to be obnoxious. They're elf analogs, but basically these are a weird hybrid between spirit and elemental, empowered by the slowly awakening will of the forest itself. And they slap, and they cannot be slapped back. Very.
And here we have the Shihan Riders.
Talking about regiments that apply seeds, and by talking about regiments that really benefit from them, they are the ones that are benefited from them, right? You have your is a flyby? I guess the right word is the literal bombing run, right? That some of you saw, and you were wondering to whom, to which regiment this will belong to. Essentially, what they do, you fly over enemy regiments. Essentially, you pick a regiment that the command stand has marched over, very specific, and it's pretty much bombing. But if you want to make sure that the enemy regiment has siege on it, and if you have made sure that it has siege on it, you then can do some really spicy damage, and that's what we're looking for. Not great combatants on their own. It's a highly synergistic regiment that pretty much synergize with anything that applies seeds, which is everything, but some do it a lot better than others.
And yeah, hats off to Demo and the painting department for this one. They're just gorgeous. And the Keoneer riders, Leo, are similar, I would imagine.
So this is a dual kit, as you can see. But actually, I really love that they're dual kits because they're these two different sides of the same coin. Where one is there to direct benefit from those seats, the Keoneer are there. Think of it as this precision tool to apply it. Some of you saw the rule because you saw two rules in that one preview, and they had the other rule. Every time that they shoot a regiment and apply a seed to it, another enemy regiment will hit, and it just also gets a seed. So they are your tool to make sure that you apply precision, let's say debuffing. You very carefully. It's really hard to explain rules without it being full of puns when talking about readers. But let's say you're planting the seed where it meets at the best place, where you want.
The question is, and this is probably more to Stavro, assembly-wise, how hard are they to assemble, and how do the stands attach to the base?
The traditional hemisphere for the stands in the base. And no, these are not hard to assemble. Is this Domaru Damashi PTSD talking?
Probably.
that is acceptable. That is acceptable. I still stand by them. They are the most gorgeous models we have ever made, and they're my revenge for all the stuff I hear on you guys. You want pretty models, you suffer. Cut fingers, burnt fingers, glued fingers, and I suffer bleeding eyes and bleeding ears from what I do hear and see on the Discord. We're even.
These are pretty amazing. Whatever assembly it is will be worth it.
No, they're beautiful. They're easy. They're very good to assemble. We've made sure that the wings are also in every pose in a certain way that it doesn't interrupt when you're trying to rank them up. They have a good amount of parts, and they fit together really well. So do not worry.
And yes, there'll be a one-player starter. There is going to be a one-player starter that will be carrying us through 2026. So this, just so everyone's aware, from a retailer perspective, even though there are 2025 supercharged starters available now, this one will not be changing in 2026. And that does look like terrain in the back, because it is terrain in the back. Now we got to add, wait till I tell Vigeli we got to add acorns to the box. He's going to shoot me. Or sunflower seeds. We're very excited to launch with a one-player starter. There will only be the one-player starter. The two-player Weaver Uroni will continue through holidays. The art on the front is the artists just keep getting better. My hat's off to them. I had nothing to do with it. Each box has 31 miniatures, a little cut off there at the bottom, but super excited to show you this. And this is all the stuffs you're going to get. And as I noted in the first slide, you save $85 if you want to buy this as a group.
I see one question being asked a lot in on the Twitch Discord, which is, what model does the whatchamacallit earliest?
The Oberon?
No. Before Oberon, we had
the OP kit.
Both the OP kits.
Oh yeah.
Yes. The courtesan is actually best applied to be the, oh god, hold on. I'm going to try to pronounce. Will I try to pronounce? I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. The spring commander. You could, if you put her on a brute base.
I don't know which one is the spring commander. I would help you, but
I don't even want to.
Rune sheet.
Rune sheet. Thank you, Reese. I discovered today that you guys have been using different names internally, and then you throw them at me without telling me.
I am not responsible for that ever. Names never change at the last minute, and they are never a mess on 1,000 different Excel sheets. This is untrue, everybody. Disregard Daryl.
Uh-huh. That's Daryl lore right there.
I think my personal let's say PTSD on that was like testing the running without revealing anything. So to this day, to me, it's stand 1, stand 2, stand 3. So in that regard, I feel you, Daryl.
And they asked, is the assassin in the OP kit the war she? Then
So in the OP kit, you have the rune the melee version we just saw essentially.
Yeah. So she's effectively the Moor.
The more, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. And here we have some weavers at play. So that's the whole enchilada for weavers today. We will have more for you to show at a late October is my guess after Essen. One of the things we felt was super important was to bring you painted models, to really showcase these models the way they should be. None of us felt good about the last launch, to be honest. We want paint, and so we're going to save for paint. And I think you would all agree that the paint makes such a difference. We're so happy about it. We're very, very excited to bring these to you. We are probably about a week delay, just so everyone's aware. We're looking at a targeted November 7th release date as an estimate right now. And no, Scott, we will not be revealing any other armies today. There will be stuff in the future, but today it's all about these bad boys.
Yeah. One thing that I do want to point out that we've learned, you will have seen it in the Yoroni. You saw it in the Yoroni. The Weavers are going to be completed very quickly as a competitive army. So it's going to be an intense few months of releases for them. And so to bring the army up to a competitive level, so you don't have to wait 6 months before you have all the tools you need to be able to compete. We're focusing first on the more generic stuff, and then we're going to plunge into the court specific. And unfortunately, you miss the Drakes by about a week from paint. Believe me, I wanted to show them. Believe me, I wanted to show them. They're exquisite, like truly, truly exquisite. I am glad we waited this long to be able to produce a model like that. It's insane, but I can't show it to you. I tried.
But we will. Don't worry, we will. We just think that, and one of the things we're going to be doing for retailers, for those of you that are listening as retailers or people who work with retailers, is we're going to have decidedly a program for Weaver Court's launch program with POP materials, and we're working on some interesting GWP scenarios to go with it, gift and purchase, by the way. So we are working really hard to create a Weaver Court's launch program for retailers. There will be 2 more narrative box sets coming this year, so fear not. We won't steal the thunder from this set to tell you what they are, but they're good, and they're coming this year. One's this year, one's January technically, but for us that still counts as this year. I'm just going through the questions. The titanium model is 26, I know. As I mentioned, other places, we are going to stick to painted models. So we're doing a series of monthly catalogs with painted models that will go in all orders and be available for retailers during the release month. It means there will be a viewing of what's coming, like we showed you on the postcard, so you'll have an idea of the titles and when they're coming. But we want to show you paint, at least for now. I'm not saying forever. But we feel that paint shows the models the way we want them to be shown. And so we're working hard with that. So that is, and will they go out for pre-order soon? They're already out for pre-order, gang. While you all were listening to my sorry ass voice, Tasso behind the scenes was posting them. So go forth and conquer. They're on the eShop, which I imagine will probably be crashing in the next 30 seconds. if things go well. And did I mention we have a new eShop coming, and that's part of the reason why. Believe me, we really wanted to have that new eShop done before now, but there were a few things that just couldn't get done, and so we're waiting. As I noted, the planned release date for these models is currently November 7th. That's an estimate. If we can close it, we will. We'll keep you posted, but right now, November 7th is the date we're using for these. And retailers that were on the call, the new order form and an email will be going out to you with all of this stuff momentarily as well, so you'll be able to start pre-selling as well. Spire's rework next year, yes, that's the deal. Can you buy Weavers at Spiel? That's the plan. That's the hope. We're certainly going to work hard to get them there. It will probably be limited quantities, to be very honest. We're working super hard, but these are challenging times in the world of manufacturing, thanks to global events, as I think you guys heard from the beginning. So bear with us, be patient. We are working, again, super creatively to overcome all of the things that are being thrown our way to make sure that we deliver great models at a great price with truly refreshing balance updates and rules that you're going to love. And if you joined us midway through, make sure you register your accounts on the companion app or on the web service if you prefer that. That will be super important coming up. I won't go back through it again, but you get the idea. And yes, in the starter set, you can make either dual kit for the riders. It even says it in the write-up. I promise you.
Like the other one said you could. Like the other one didn't mention them in the write-up.
Right. But now
Still, people.
I clearly identified that, yes, you can. So, yeah, we look, do we get it right all the time? God, no. Are we human? Yes. Do we make mistakes? Yes. Do we try to learn from them? Yes. So know that those are all things that are held true at the same time. We will continue to make mistakes. We will continue to learn. We will continue to evolve. We will continue to try hard to bring you guys quality products, a great value. That's our goal. With that, I think I've answered all the questions that people threw at me. So we appreciate everyone's support. Know that there's a lot of passion that goes into all these things. There's a lot of passion that goes into traveling the world in 2 weeks. So please know we love you, we appreciate you, and wish you the best as you go forth and pick up some Weaver quartz along the way. We appreciate it. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
One thing I do want to clarify is when I said the Xianxia, she has an alternative head that is more suitable for summer. And if you paint her in summer themes, the mood and style of the entire model changes.
Ah, okay, there you go. I was like, you threw me for a loop on that one.
Yeah, my apologies. I
Don't worry.
misspoke.
Got you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.